Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Always so happy to find you here. If you're new, thank you for your subscription. I hope you stay for a good long while and bring a friend with you next time. I enjoy having your subscription. I wanted to talk today about bullyism, particularly in the workplace, and how this is actually piggybacking off of the last two videos I did on Jimmy Kimmel's return to late night TV and why he had to leave anyway in the first place. I mean, this is ridiculous. But I have done plenty of videos on bullyism, and I'll drop a few of those in the description box. But the thing is, when you don't take care of the bully, when you don't handle the person and change the behavior and uh, do something by which the conduct will not reappear, the bully will just grow up into an adult and become a boss. And this is how you have boss bullyism. It is a trait that will never go away. Now, I gave the examples before, and it's worth sharing again. When you feed a bully, when we feed a bully, you will always have to feed that person. It starts in like elementary, the beginning of school. And for whatever trait that's in that person that makes them pick on someone else, they'll go for their lunch money, they'll go for some toy they have, they'll go for something that another person has that either the bully him or herself doesn't have, or that they just want to take it from the other person. If that's not really handled by a parent and a principal, it will grow on to middle school. If it's not handled there, it will grow on to high school. If it's not handled there, it will grow on to college or trade school. If it's not handled there, it'll land in the workplace. Because now it is growing. It's a growing trait. It's a growing trait. And what happens at these levels from school to school to school for this bully is the game changes. They're no longer taking lunch money or toys or things that you have when they're in college or the work environment. What they're doing there is taking overtime or um, picking people to be on their team by which positional growth is limited for others if they are the boss. It is a different mindset by which the lunch money has transitioned into something else of value to them by which they can maintain control. Because ultimately that's what the bully wants, is to maintain control. Now, while I hate to recommend any form of violence or aggravation that can appear, perhaps I say violent, the only way to handle a bully is kick the bully's ASS to some degree, and it may not be physically. Let's say they're the boss. When they have had so many complaints in human resources, you have to if they haven't been trained out of it, if they haven't corrected their ways, if the complaints haven't gone down, if they're just finding a different way to continue to control and manipulate people, you have to you have to take action by which they recognize they are no longer able to do that. And a lot of times that is make them a lesser leader, meaning they're not over people. Reduce their department, make them a standalone department where they work alone, but they work with other teams, but the teams don't meet. You have to find a different way because bullies themselves are never going to stop their actions and their ways because people want to continue if they had that trait since high school. They have learned a mentality by which they will continue to rise in their efforts to control other people by which they find them to be a lesser equipped rival. So they'll pick on the quiet person. They'll pick on and build their teams with those people because they want to make those folks followers. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people kiss the rear end of a bully boss just to keep that person happy and content. I mean, it's nonsense. But nonetheless, people do it all the time. And I guess my dad was right. He said, Sheri, you have to recognize. You have to recognize that although you're my sweet daughter, you are definitely a better ass kicker than you are an ass kisser. He used to tell me that. You are better ass kicker than you are an ass kisser because people don't expect you to be, but you sure know how. It's true. It's true. Don't come for your girl. But for me, I've never had a reasonable understanding. I'll put it that way. I've never had a reasonable understanding by which a person should bully someone or pick on someone by which they think their grandiosity exceeds. I can never get with it. I guess I just don't like ego. I can, I don't think I like ego. I like confidence. I like self-assuredness. I can get the job done for you. I like teamwork. I like peace. I love peace. I'm a peace warrior. I don't like ego. It causes too many abstractions, divisions, fear. And people shouldn't have to work that way. If we didn't have to work for financial reasons, most of us wouldn't. We'd be out somewhere enjoying doing our hobbies. But since we do have to work shouldn't hurt. And that's what a good human resources department should be, your strong arm to make sure of that. Now, I know a lot of people say it's not like you say, not at my company, not the HR. I could only hope. I just know how I work. And I work feverishly to make everyone feel heard, valued, invited in, not picked upon, not overlooked, recognized. I work very hard. I work very hard to do it. And even with that, it can still occur. So you have to recognize when a person is calling you out. And here's another thing. I often recommend to a person who would come to me and say they're experiencing that. The first thing I'd say is, did you talk to that person? No. Why don't you go talk to that person? Mm-mm. So they're even the fear. Now, a lot of times they don't want to have a conversation. Courageous conversation is another video I've done. I'll drop that in the description box. A lot of them just can't brace themselves up to have that conversation. But I often like them to speak for themselves, and I say, we can do it together. When I say we can do it together, they're for that. Why? Because if you feel you've been bullied and no one in a position of authority has done anything, meaning the parent or the principal, and you've had talks and they're still getting you on the playground, if you still feel that despite all that, if you can buddy up to someone to hang with when the bully appears to back the bully down, you're going to buddy with that person. That's why they'll take it when an HR says, I'll go with you and we'll talk, because they find comfort in that. So whatever you need to do, do it, but never be bullied, not even at work. Speak up for yourself. And I love you. If you've gotten this far, please click like, please click subscribe. I wish I could come there. We don't do that. Please click like, please click subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.